Hello, and welcome to Introduction to Programming with C++, brought to you by LogiKomp. We've put a lot of work into making this course awesome, and we're glad to have you with us. In this video, we are going to be taking a tour of the course. This video is going to be a little different from the other ones, but you'll see a lot of similarities with the other videos later. This video has the purpose of giving you an overview of what the course is all about, as well as letting you see all the interactive content and how it flows and how it all works. And also, this video will include tips for using the course. It will look at some of the more technical features for helping you get the most out of the course. So this course is going to be kind of divided into three parts. First, we're going to look at the course homepage to get the overview, and then we'll look at a couple of content pages so you can see some of that really nice interactive content. And then we'll go to the course navigation homepage, which outlines a lot of those little technical features of the course, and a couple of those are really neat. You don't want to miss them, trust me. So let's start by going to the course homepage for our overview. Now this is the LogiKomp homepage. This is not the best way to get to the course, but just in case you forget the best way, which I'll show you in a minute, want to go through and let you take a quick peek at that. You could go through all of these drop-down menus, go through business areas and get to it. That's kind of tedious. There is currently in the training and instruction section a link to the course. However, this could change in the future. This page could change in the future, but there is a link there if you want to find it. We'll go ahead and click on that, and I'll show you the best way to get to the course homepage. The best way to get to the course homepage is to simply go into your address bar and type logikomp.com/introcpp, and that's for Intro C++. Keep it nice and short. Okay, and hit enter, and that will bring us here. All right, excellent. At the very beginning, you'll see take a video tour. That is this video. You may have you may be watching it right here, right now. One thing that I will say about this video quickly, and we'll come back to this a little later, is that these videos are recorded in 1080p, so you may want to adjust your resolution as close to that as possible to make it clear. You may be watching a fuzzy image right now. Okay, now why this course? Why do you want to take this course? Well, let's start with the general of why you might want to take an introductory programming course. Well, it may be, something that would help you out with your job, or maybe you're interested in moving that way with your career, but this course is, like I said, is free for individuals. So maybe it's just something that you think you might be interested in, and you want to try it out. Say, hey, is this something that I would like to do? Or you may have kids, in high school or even middle school, and they might, would be interested in something like this, but maybe think, oh, well, gee, I don't think I'd be very good at that, or something. They could try it out and see, and who knows, they may really enjoy it, and they may be very good at it. So, there are a lot of reasons for taking a programming course. As for this one specifically, we've got some features laid out here, but you'll see a lot of these features throughout the rest of this video, so we'll let those speak for themselves. Another good reason for taking this course in particular comes into course scope and organization. So course scope we'll go through in more detail in just a little bit, but generally speaking, this course is designed to be comparable to similar courses at a college or university, with the exception of, in actuality, it could contain a bit more content. We've gone through, and of course it's got all of the essentials for a introductory programming course, but we've added in a lot of extra things. Different departments might include different types of material, and we've kind of tried to include pretty much all of it, or the most of it. And then, not to mention, there's content that we really just wanted to be in this course. So in the end, you could find 50% more content in this course than you would find in a college course, depending on the college, just for any given college course. So if you've already taken a course like this one, you may go, oh, well, we didn't cover that. We didn't. Well, see, bonus. Okay. So more specifically, what does this particular course cover? Well, this course is divided into 6 parts. And so you could think of these parts like chapters, and we'll refer to this kind of analogy probably a couple more times in this video. That we see this course, this online course, website, whatever you want to call it, as an interactive video textbook. And so the analogy is that these parts are like chapters. So to get an overview of the whole course, let's just kind of give a brief description of these chapters to let you know what this course contains. Part 1, we will start from the very beginning, and we'll show you how to get all of the software that you need for free. We'll start there, and then we'll move on into, okay, what is a program? How do programs work? How does the hardware work, and how does a program interact to run on that hardware, and different things. And then we'll give you some foundational stuff for C++, and then we'll move into where you can write those basic C++ programs, the basic syntax, the basics of the language. Part 2 is about writing functions. In some other languages they're called methods. Some people refer to them as subroutines, but here's the gist. The gist of writing functions is that you can write a chunk of code almost like a mini program and reuse it over and over and over again very easily within your program, without having to rewrite all of the code, redo all of that programming again. A lot of courses will put this later in the course or later in the semester, but personally I've found that putting it early works out a lot better, and more on that when we get there. Part 3 is making decisions. So up to this point, everything will be in the first primary control structure, which is sequential. You've just got one instruction after another, and the same instructions execute the same way in the same order every time you run the program. Here you can make decisions. Okay, depending on, if one thing's one way, we'll run these instructions. If it's another way, it'll run other instructions. It gets a little more complicated than it may sound, but don't sweat it. I mean, we really take it through, all the way, and explain it all and show you from the basics, and then develop everything into different types of nesting and everything. Also, in this part, we'll be looking at Boolean expressions. So that's a way of combining different types of things together to determine if something's true or false, so you know which set of or so your program knows which part of the program to run. That is the second control structure, by the way. The third primary control structure of the 3 is the repetition control structure, and so it's called loops because what you're doing is you're actually executing you're going through the same set of instructions over and over and over and over again. And again, that gets a bit more involved, especially with nesting and everything, and you'll use those Boolean expressions to determine, okay, now it's time to stop. So that is the third control structure. And part 5, and don't worry about all of this stuff. Like I said, we'll carry you through, we'll show you how to use it. Loops are your programs that you run all the time use a lot of loops, and you just don't even realize it. So anyway, back to part 5 here. That's using sets of data. So we'll be looking at arrays in part 5. So arrays is where you store your values in a block of memory, and so there's a lot of values that are all related, and then it's a way so that you can access. It's like, okay, well, I need, you know, the 5th value, or I need the 4th value, and everything. And it's very important for you to learn all about arrays in a introductory programming course. And lastly is encapsulation, and that's all about building classes. Now you might be saying, well, isn't this a class? Isn't this like a class that I'm taking? No, it's not class like an English class or something. It's something very different. Classes in programming, or you could see it as kind of a template, but I use that very lightly because template means something a little different. But you could consider a class kind of like a blueprint. But either way, these are used to build objects. Now, objects contain their own information, you know, their own values, and they also contain their own functions and everything. But you may have heard of object-oriented programming. So they're built all around objects, and this is how you can create your own classes, and from those classes then have your own objects. And we'll go through all of that. This whole entire part may not be, and I don't think that it's covered in a lot of first semester programming courses, but well, it depends on the language, I think. But at any rate, that is part 6. So that is what the course covers. And now, how is all of this organized? We will get to the course navigation. Let me click over here. My little mouse is over here. We will get to this in more detail in the final third of the video. But the best way to show you how everything is organized is just to use this and show you the organization. So you see your different parts here. Okay, each part has 8 topics. 8 topics, and the okay, we'll wait on that. Let's just look at one of these. Let's just look at topic 1. Each topic has its own page, and on these pages are different sections. So that is how the course is organized. You've got parts. You've got 6 parts. Each part has 8 topics, and each topic has its own page with different sections, typically about 8, but sometimes a little less if it's shorter. Okay. Another thing to note here is that the last section in every topic is a quick quiz, and you will see that when we start looking at a couple of actual content pages. Another thing to point out is the last topic. The last topic is a place for you to go to. It's kind of like a review, or it's like a problems section. There will be some open-ended review questions, and you'll be able to click a button and see the full answer written out and everything for these. So they'll be a little different than the quick quiz. Quick quiz is multiple choice and true false, and there will be typically about 6. Again, if the topic's shorter, maybe not quite 6, about 6 multiple choice true false questions. We'll see those. But here, this is more open-ended. But more importantly, in the practice your skills, you're going to have not just the review questions, but 2 programming challenges, and we may end up adding even more later, not sure at this point. But these are going to be, full-blown problems. Now granted, they're going to be smaller towards the beginning of the course, but it'll say all these problems, solve this using this, that, and the other. And so then that's your opportunity to go and try all on your own, to go through the entire process, to break the problem down, to do all of your planning out your logic, and then going through and writing all of the code, all of the C++, to create a full program to do that. You say, oh, well, that might be kind of spooky. How do I know what if I get stuck? Well, so for each one of these, there will be a solutions video that will go through that entire process with you. So if you get stuck at some point, so you can, work on it up until a certain point, and then, oh, I'm stuck here. Then you can watch the video up until that point, pause it, and then go back and start and get yourself on the way. So there will be full solutions to these available, videos that'll show you the whole process. There's one other thing here in the organization. Right now we're in part 1. After part 1, so parts 2 through 6, part 7 will focus more on the C++ language itself, so that you can build proficiency in the language. So that will be topic 7 there, after part 1, after the first part. All right, so that's how the whole course is laid out. You know what it covers, how it's laid out. What's next on our course homepage? Support this course. So this course, we do offer it for free to individuals that are wanting to learn programming or C++, both. And it's free, and we're happy to make it free. However, we do ask that if you continue to use the course, that you support its production and maintenance. So that information is here. It's also here on every course page. You can click on this little tab and you can find it there, and there's similar information, almost like a really short little mini ad in the trailer. So it's at the end of all of our videos. You'll find it at the end of this video as well. So we want all of this information to be very accessible to you, but we don't want to bug you, and we definitely don't want it to get in the way of your learning and just being like, oh, this is just aggravating. No, we don't want that at all, but we do want to make it accessible, except in this video. And this video is a tour video, so we're going to have a short little commercial here, and I'll try to keep it short, I promise. So one of the great things that you can do to support this course is, of course, to spread the word. So you could do that using we've got a Facebook page and Twitter. You can share our posts if you like, or just spreading just regular conversations, letting people know that may be interested in this course, that it is available for them. So that will help them out as well. However, one of the best ways to support the production and maintenance of this course is to make a small purchase from LogiKomp. We kind of look at it like when you go to use a convenience store restroom. Yeah, it's there and you can use it, but the polite thing to do is to support that convenience store, by making, by buying a little Slim Jim or something. And so the way you can do that, particularly as an individual, is by going to LogiKomp domains and hosting and making a small purchase there. If you're at least 18. If you're not, you can ask your parents to do it. But if you're at least 18, need to make sure to throw that in there. And so that's here. You can click on that link and go here. There's another way that you can get there, and that is to, very similar to before, go to LogiKomp.com/hosting. Now when I hit enter, you'll see this changes. That's because it's sending you to this site. This site is where once you buy a domain, you'll be able to go in and manage all of that stuff. So it's the server that lets you do all that. And if you go further with it, you'll be able to go in there, and if you go further with it with a website and everything, upload content to your website, set up email addresses, and all kinds of stuff like that. So don't forget this. You're still in the right place. If you ever have any questions or any question about where you are, just go back up here and type in LogiKomp.com/hosting, and and you're in the right place. So see, some of these things aren't it's not bad. You can get these different domains. Of course, that's like your .com, all that kind of stuff. You can purchase that name here for fairly inexpensive. And see, we're not asking for donations. See, you can check our prices. They're pretty competitive. Be careful sometimes when you see like really super low prices on these things, though, because a lot of times there's a catch. It's like, yeah, it's only $1, but then you pay $20 but we require you to buy a second year at $20 or something. It's that type of deal. So just be very careful when if you go and start comparing prices with that. If you decide you'd like to go further, fantastic. We'd definitely appreciate that. You can scroll down. Here's some of our more popular products. This website builder here, this is a drag and drop, and you have access to a lot of templates, and they vary from essentially a blank template to all the way to you almost just put your name on it and bam, it's there. Or if you want to use your own software, we have those hosting things. Or maybe you're like, hey, no, I got a domain, I want to be able to send and receive email to that. Let's say your domain is johndoe.com and you want to be able to send and receive email from me at johndoe.com. Hey, yeah, and that's very, very affordable. So you could do that with your domain as well. It says even more options here. There's a lot more stuff than just that. You can go through these drop down menus. Don't worry, told you I'd try to keep this commercial short. But besides even these, there's a 24/7 number that you can call, and you can call them and say, well, here's what I want to do. They can go through all your options with you, plans, pricing, all of that stuff, and get you set up right there. And that's a 24/7 number. The one great thing is this is like the U.S. number. If you call from the U.S., there's you will speak to someone in the U.S., and there's other numbers. If you call from a different part of the world, you'll speak with someone from that part of the world. It really works out great. That sales and support is fantastic. There is one, and the commercial's almost over. There is one thing that I will advise you before you call that number: make sure you have an account created. What they'll ask you for your account number, and you'll set up a PIN number almost right off the bat, and that's so that they can get in and set you up. Be sure to set up an account first. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to buy anything, just to create an account. And you can see, let me click the mouse here so you can see where I am. You can create an account just like that. So okay, now commercial's over, except for that little bit at the very end in the trailer. So appreciate you looking at that. But that is how you can support us. And again, you get something. You're getting a great product at a good price. It's not just like a donation. You're getting great product, neat product, something pretty neat, pretty cool. Doesn't cost that much. So excellent. Okay, thanks for listening through the commercial. Let's get started. We're going to skip over that section. We're back on the course homepage, by the way. We're going to skip over this real quickly. over this real quickly and come back to that right after this, because this is the bottom of the page. And the let's get started is the segue into the middle section of this video. All right. At the very bottom, you'll see the course updates. Now, at the time this video is made, we're just getting started rolling the course out. So you'll see the update for, this is today's date, and you'll see all the previous updates, and this is where you can check. You can check to see anytime we add new content or go back and add content to older stuff. We'll put an update here, or maybe if we fix something, as long as, I mean, if it's minor something that we fix, we probably won't put an update here, but you can check here for updates to the course, or maybe even later we'll go back and, like I was talking about with those programming challenges, maybe it's like, well, we decided to add extra programming challenges to here and here, so that's where you can find it. But we will also put updates here, and then probably not the full update, but say there has been an update or something at Twitter, so yet another reason to like our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter. All right, here's the let's get started. This course is meant to be, now if you've got programming experience, you may kind of want to pick through some of the stuff, but still it'd be nice for you to kind of skim in order to make sure that you're not missing anything. And so the first place to start is the Part 1 introduction page. I will warn you, part introduction pages are pretty bland. Going back to that whole analogy to a textbook, remember that's like a chapter, so this is like a chapter overview. It's pretty much all text, but don't worry, we'll get to pages with some content very shortly. So we'll go ahead and click on that link, and again, it's all text. We may end up coming back and adding some videos for this later, not sure, but at any rate, here's the introduction for Part 1. And so this is Part 1. Remember, our parts like a chapter. Part 1, all in a nutshell. And below that, you'll notice these look a little different, and I'll explain that in just a second. But below that, you have the introductions for all of the topics in the part. So you can get a general idea first, and then say, oh, okay, well, I want some more detail about what's in this part. When you go to a part introduction page, you can say, I want some more detail. So you can look at the introductions for each individual topic to get a little bit more detail on what's going on in the part. And if you see something you like, that's why these are colored differently than this one. If you see something you like, these are links. Okay, so now let's go to a page with some content on it, and this is a link. We'll go to topic 2. Of course, there are there is a lot easier way using the course navigation to get to where you want to go than just that. But that's for the last third of the video. You get to topic 2. So this is the introduction for topic 2, and that is the exact same thing that was on the previous page. Now after that, these are those sections that I was talking about earlier. You've got your different sections, so you'll come through here. This one's pretty short, and you'll have text. Now in addition to those texts, you'll have these little green boxes inside here. They can contain various things from summaries to examples, or even in this case graphics and videos, and we'll see some examples of those as we roll on down here. So you might be looking at this graphic and say, well, what good does that do me? What do I have to download this, whatever? If you see in one of these little green boxes at the bottom, click image to zoom, unzoom. This is a picture, so click on it and it gets much bigger so that you can really see that graphic and what's in it. To get it back out, you say, oh man, this is in the way. Just click on it again. So click image to zoom, unzoom. One little tip here. Does say click on the image. So this image is in like a little rectangle here. And you notice when I'm in that rectangle, I've got a little finger there, a little pointy finger. And over here, I've got an arrow. If I click over here, it's not, you need to click on the image itself in order for it to get bigger. Okay, so that's a little tip so that you don't end up, why is the picture not getting bigger? Why? You need to click on the image itself. All right, then here sometimes there are some little footnotes to kind of give a little more detail or clarity to some things. And as you go down this one, this section right here where a program fits in has a lot of green boxes, and that's because just writing it all out in text would be very confusing. So here, this is a summary of the topic to this point, just to make sure you're right on the same page. And then here we have another graphic. Again, you can click to get a bigger picture. And then here are some steps here. Usually when you see something like this where there's a lot of text in a box, it's an example most often, but sometimes it's other stuff. It's a list of examples of stuff that is being discussed all around it in the text. And here is a video. So there's a couple of tips here. Before we look at this video, I do want to mention that sometimes when you load one of these course pages, you may find that it's a little unresponsive or jerky right when you first load the page. It's nothing to fret about. These videos are hosted on YouTube, and so your browser has to go through and embed those videos from YouTube into this page. And so while it's doing that, your browser might have, a couple of seconds here or there where it's unresponsive. So don't freak out when it does that. That's what's causing that little bit of unresponsiveness. But like I said, it is on they are on YouTube. To view, you can click, and there it comes. And I'm going to go ahead and hit pause very quickly. One thing, well, let's go ahead and watch just a little bit of it. So this is the intro. Okay, I've paused it here, and you can see, all right, so this is a full screen. Like I said, these are in 1080p. These videos are recorded in 1080p. So that's going to be a good way to watch them by maximizing. If you missed it, it's right there, is to go ahead and watch it in full screen. Now what you may notice here, if you're in, a lot of this stuff is blurry and it's difficult to see. So this says HD. Here is big tip number one. All right. Well, actually kind of number two. Number one is to watch in full screen. Number two is this HD. If I click on that for the settings, it says auto 720. Sometimes it'll even say auto 1080. Even when it says auto 1080, you might, it will still not look right. It'll look all fuzzy and everything. So the tip is to click on that and make sure it's not auto or auto 1080. Even make sure it's just plain old 1080 if you can. There it goes. Now hopefully you're able to see how the image got much clearer here. It got much clearer here. And there's my little finger. All right, so here is another tip from this. I'm going to start it up. Watch what happens over here. There's a 15-second intro to the videos. And what will happen, I'll let it run for just a little bit. So of course you got your title and stuff down here. Look what's happening over here. All right, so if you had just bookmarked bookmarked a particular video, or you found the particular video on YouTube, and you're like, oh great, now I've got to go figure out where in the world this video came from. Well, there's a real convenient way to do it, and that is to just watch the first 15 seconds of the video, because it will go through the course navigation system. We'll cover that a little bit more shortly, and show you exactly not just the page but the section where that video is located. So you don't have to, if you're looking at a video, oh, what page did this guy, there you go, you know what the page is. So there's the tip on that. Let's get back to scrolling through our content here. Here's another box that's showing different ways of counting in binary. Here's another graphic. Of course, remember, you can boost those up to get a better view of them. Here is another video that goes through the whole process, in this case, of counting in binary. Now, you may be tempted to just skip all of this, to just skip it all and say, oh, forget it, I'll just watch the video. To some extent, the videos stand on their own, but we highly recommend that you do read this stuff. It contains important information, and look at this stuff to start building, building an idea of the information that we're talking about, so that when you get to this point, you're well aware of what's going on and you can really soak it up. I mean, that's a good way to learn. I mean, it's really worthwhile. So we caution against doing that. Like I said, the videos are somewhat standalone, but that's not the way they were intended to be used. They were intended to be used as part of this whole course. So, and then here's some explanation there, and we've got some more. Now we get to the quick quiz. So here, this looks pretty self-explanatory, and I suppose it is. You select something, check the answer. Here, it's incorrect, but it's because you didn't provide an answer. So once you check your question, you can't change your answer, but all you've got to do is reset the question. And so you can select, in this one, memory, check the answer. Oh, no, that's incorrect. Now here's a very good point, and I'll come back to why. There, a lot of times there's hints as to which, well, if it's true, false, you know which one's right, but to kind of help you along to figure out what the answer is, little minor hints. But other than that, we've spent a lot of time writing out these explanations to help you understand why something's not right. We also have, we'll reset, we also have explanations for why something is right. Now, why am I making such a big deal out of these explanations? It's because if you've got the time, you could go through and look at these wrong answers and see why they're not right, and you can get extra little tidbits of information and things like that. And you don't have to worry about, like, oh man, these people must think I'm a complete idiot because I'm selecting all these wrong answers. We don't track this whatsoever. So if you've got the time and you're interested, you could look and see why the other answers don't fit. So that's why I'm making a big deal out of that. You could pick up other extra little tidbits of information that you might be curious about. So don't worry about selecting a wrong answer just to see what it says about that answer. So there are all of those. Like I said, typically the quick quizzes are going to be around 6 questions, maybe fewer if it's a short topic. And they're at the end of the topic to make sure, hey, yeah, okay, I'm kind of getting this here. I'm not completely lost. And to reinforce as well the information on the page. Now, I did mention the topic 8, where you've got your review questions. In those cases, it'll just be a question, and then it'll say show the answer, and then you'll click. It'll look just like these, and then it'll just show. There'll be a written out answer for you to look at. But those are at the very end of the part. Topic 8 is part of topic 8. Okay, We've you see now basically how the course is laid out. We went through the overview with the course homepage. We've looked at a couple of pages here as the middle third, the second part of the video, so that you can see how everything's laid out. Now it's time to take a look at the navigation homepage, where it explains some of these other features, like, of course, this course navigation that you've seen here and there, and some other things too. You might see some strange colors, or what's this little thing doing down there. That's what's next. So we're going to go there by clicking on Nav Home here at the bottom, and these two, Course Home and Nav Home, in case you need to get there, you know, for some other reason, to look through some stuff or whatever, these will open in a new tab or window. Okay, so you don't lose your place here. Whether it's a tab or whether it's a window depends on your browser settings. I think for the most part, default is it'll open in a new tab, but so it should be. So you see here, it's opened the navigation homepage for the course here in a new tab. So we'll go through all these things so that these features are designed to make the course, you know, even easier to use. I mean, we put a lot of work into making all the content very clear and interactive, and to some extent entertaining. But you know, if you can't access what you need, or you get lost, then, you know, what good is all of that? So here are some features. Again, this is going to be this video too. It's in two places. It's on the course homepage and here. And then here you've already seen. This is very straightforward. You've just seen that on the previous page. Down here, it's at the bottom, and it's at the top. Where is it? There it is, right here. And so if you don't have JavaScript enabled, I don't think they'll get big like this, but you can still click on them. Okay, like I said, the course is designed to be taken in order. So there, you know, there's the next, so that's the next one, that, you know, and this is the one that came before this one. Pretty self-explanatory, and again, you know what these will do. That's very straightforward, nothing fancy with that. But now we finally get to your in-course navigation. So that's the thing that I've been clicking over here. I'm going to go back to our page here, our topic 2 page, and I want you to pay attention to what happens when I open this. See that animation? All right. That way you know exactly where in the course you are. So when you first open this course navigation, it will automatically animate to expand to exactly where you are. So you are on the Understanding Hardware page. That's topic 2 of part 1. All right. This one is kind of highlighted, and this one just has a simple little outline over it, and I'll explain why here very shortly. But we need to look at, all right, this is you've seen me do this. I mean, you can probably figure, but if you're somewhere that will expand or collapse, just notice that little plus or minus will highlight. All right, so if you want to expand that, it's done like that, and then you can collapse it. We can even collapse this one. All right, shoot, we can even collapse this one, and that's the purpose of that little outline. By the way, let's say you want to run off to some other part of the course, and then you come back and you're like, oh, where am I? And it's, well, here, you're right here, you're right there, and this one is highlighted because that's the actual page that you're on. So there you go. So you might be saying, well, this is great that I can go, you know, flipping around the course. How do I actually get to what I'm looking for? How do I go to what I'm looking for? Well, what you're looking for here are these little green, they're links, and you'll notice how this is highlighted, and then mouse and that's not highlight. That's because if you click on this, it's not going to expand or collapse anything. It's going to go to that page. So there you go. Part 1, creating programs. Okay, remember that page? Note here, if I go back to it, see this is highlighted because this is the actual page that we're on. You could also go to, let's say, topic 1, getting the software, and here this goes through what software you need and what your options are, and even videos for installing those. Pardon me. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let me take care of something very quickly. All right, was not expecting that. I apologize. Like I said, videos to go through the whole process, plus talk about that stuff. This one's got some links. If you're, I mean, we go through whether you're Windows, Mac, or Linux user, all that type of stuff here. Anyway, point is, back to course navigation. You'll see then now it opens to here, and this is done. So as long as you're on this page, this is what will be highlighted. You can go and expand. So see, it's still, no matter what you do with the expanding and everything. A couple of more things with the course navigation, actually about 3 things. You again have these, and these will open these pages in a new tab. Let's see. You've probably seen me click on the little arrow there. It gets a little covered up, but it's there, so you can close the nav system that way, or you can just click it on here. Now here's a little bit of a caveat. I was saying I think you need JavaScript for these to, get bigger like this, but you can still click on them. You need to have JavaScript enabled in order to be able to use this feature. If you don't, I mean, no judgment here. We have included a way for you to be able to use all of this information, and we'll get to it almost at the end of the video. So don't worry about all of that. Okay. Oh, yeah, one last thing. So it will, when you open and close it, it will, see, it's not expanded anymore. It only does that the first time. So I mean, that's a good thing, because what if you're looking at something in here, and then you close it to get it out of your way, and then you go back to it, and then you're like, well, and if it was all whatever, you're like, oh, I lost my place. So we don't want it to do that. However, if for some reason you want it to reset and re-show the animation, all you have to do is refresh the page. I clicked up here to refresh the page, and so now when you open it, it'll go back through that initial animation again. All right, let's get back to the navigation home so we can look at some more of these cool little features here. So, there is one other thing with this that is pretty cool. So I was saying that you need to look at these like little green things. Well, notice these are green. These are links as well. So if you wanted to go to this particular section of topic 3, you can. Let me see which page I'm on. Yeah, I don't want to lose that page. Let's go back to this page. Let's say, so for topic 3, I was going to say, let's say we want to look at higher level languages. If you click on that, it will not only open the page, but it will open to that particular section. It's lagging on me a little bit embedding those videos. So it opened directly to here. If you're already on the page, you can do the same thing. So we're in topic 3. Let's say, oh, nope, that's the wrong thing. So you can navigate on a particular page, because these can get kind of lengthy. So we've clicked on integrated development environment, and it went straight to it. There you go, went straight to it. So that's pretty nifty. All right, well, that's the next thing. Oh, cross-topic links. Oh man, now we really think that these can be really helpful. So the idea behind these is, well, particularly programming course, computer science course, programming course is going to build a lot. I mean, really heavily, kind of like a math class, but perhaps even more so. It's going to build on previous material. And so perhaps you've had an experience where, you're taking some type of course like that builds on previous material, and you get to something, oh man, I'm rusty on that, now I gotta look at this, and you go flipping back and trying to figure out, and then what was that called, what a pain, right? Or you just say, well, I'll figure it out, right? And you keep going, and then you find later on that, well, I really didn't get that new material whatsoever. I'm just confused because I couldn't quite remember the previous material and all like that. Oh, well, see, we've got a solution for that's really handy dandy, and it's called a cross-topic link, and they look purple. So let's see how that works. You'll have more and more of these as you go through. In the beginning, you won't necessarily see a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of previous material to go back to. But you remember we were in that topic 1 page where we were looking at some of that stuff, and you say, okay, well, I skipped that. You shouldn't skip that stuff. You skip that, and you say, okay, what about Eclipse? How do I go back and get that again? So you see here, now note, this will open up in a new tab when I click on it. All right, and it goes back to where that topic was previously mentioned / covered. All right, so why is this a big deal? Well, maybe you get back to here. Okay, let's say you start here and you're like, I'm not quite sure I'm a little fuzzy on all of that stuff. Let me click on one of these purple things and go back and do a quick little review. Maybe you see then, I'm a little fuzzy on this stuff. Let's say there's another little purple link on that, and you click on that, and then you go back even further. Well, here's the thing. If you'd have done that, I mean, you could get completely lost, doing something like that with like a traditional textbook, and it could be very frustrating. Not to mention you're grinding your gears, and you're not, it's like, whoa. But you could end up bouncing back even 2 or 3 of these things, and then you go to the most recent one. It's like, okay, now I've got all of that. All right, so you're done with that one. Then you go to the next one. You say, okay, now I get all of that. Oh, all right. And then I'm back to here, and it's like, oh, great, my review is done, and I'm ready to soak up the new material. So, we think that this is going to be a very helpful feature, especially if when you're taking this course, it's on your own schedule. So maybe you've been away from it for a little while, a couple of weeks, or maybe even longer. But then it's like, well, I'm really rusty. So then you can always go back and use these little purple links to review relevant material. All right. Okay, let's go to our navigation home, cross-topic links, course bookmark system. All right, so you could use your bookmark or your favorite system in your browser and everything, but then it'd be all jumbled, and maybe may not be as descriptive as you'd like it to be, but it could be jumbled in with other links, for just going out, and maybe you saw something on eBay you liked, and you bookmarked it, and then it's all in the middle of your, okay, well, so what we've done here is we've created a bookmark system that's internal to the course, and so that's what this little thing here is for. Like the course navigation system, however, you do have to have JavaScript enabled in order to be able to use it. And if you don't want to enable your JavaScript or whatever, just rely on the bookmarks. We have some tips in here in all of this text. There's another thing to point out before we take a closer look at the bookmarks, and that is your bookmarks are stored in a cookie on your browser. So there's a few implications for this. If you do not want your bookmark stored in a cookie on the browser, do not open this, because the first time you you click on that, it will create a cookie and then populate it with default bookmarks. I mean, it's nothing, whatever, but some people, I'm not, no judgment here, don't want any cookies whatsoever. So just to let you know, another big thing here is that is a cookie on your browser on a particular computer. So if you switch browsers, if you switch computers, that cookie's not going to be there. So but it works the same way with traditional bookmarks, as you know. Let's see, and also the last thing, and there's some information in the text here about that, but if you delete that cookie, you will lose your bookmarks. So it'll still work. I mean, you won't break it. It's just the next time you go back to your bookmarks, you'll see the default bookmarks again, because it'll just create a new cookie with the default bookmarks in it. All right. So if you click on that, here comes your little bookmark page. Notice everything here grays out. You can't click on anything else while this is open. And here are all your default bookmarks. We give you 4. Any more than that, and we feel like it's just going to create a mess or clutter. We teetered on maybe putting 5 in here, but really that should be enough. I mean, if you go back to the textbook analogy, these are kind of like little slips of paper in your textbook. So what happens if you end up with a textbook with 10 slips of paper in it? They're not very useful, right? So it's similar here. Now, besides them being handy dandy and convenient while you're inside the course, what makes these what makes these definitely superior to just using your browser bookmarks or favorites or whatever? Well, you have a lot more information here. So this is a bookmark to the default bookmark one is to the course homepage, course navigation homepage, and you can see definitely, oh, this is exactly what this is. Bookmark 3 is for the for that part 1 intro page, where it had all the summaries for all those topics that we looked at. And then here's another one. So this is the bookmark. Hey, this is part 1, topic 1. It gives you the title of the part, gives you the title of the topic. You know exactly it, and it will even give you the URL right there. So that's pretty convenient, and they're very, very easy to use. Like I said, you've got 4 slots here. So if you want to change one, let's see. Let's go to, what page are we on? Let's see, we're in part 1, topic 3. Oh, that's another little benefit here. At the very top, it gives you the information for your current page. I wasn't even thinking. I could have just looked at that. So it's part 1, getting started, topic 3. So that's the page that we're currently on. So if I want to change, let's say bookmark 3 to the current page, just move bookmark, and you'll notice all this information will instantly transfer to there. There you go. And so that bookmark has been saved. All it is to it. Let's say, okay, so that's how to add one. Now, what do? You go to one. Now these, since you may have a couple in here that you save, it's like, I always need to go back to this page, so I'm saving it. Well, so because of that, these will also open in a new tab. But that's all you have to do. You can see it highlight. You know how links work. So you just, oops, we clicked on this one. So you just click on it, and it will open it up in a new tab for you. Right there. All right. We're getting close here. Okay. Source code viewer. Now this can be very helpful. If you don't know what source code is, it's this is a programming course, so you're going to be learning a lot more than just C++. A lot more. All right. But when you type something in C++ to create your program, what you're typing in C++ is called source code. As you progress through the course, some of these programs will get, longer and longer. Oh, and especially in those practice your skills where you're creating a full program. And at any rate, videos are really awesome for learning all of this stuff, because hey, you're like, oh, I didn't quite get that, oh, I missed that, and see, we'll keep going and everything will keep building and building through the video and everything. Oh, well, you can just stop it, back up, and watch it again so you don't get lost. However, you may just want to look at all of the code and say, hey, I want to look at this and not be, led around by the nose to this part of the code or that part of the code. I just want to look at it all myself. Well, we have a solution for that, and it is called the source code viewer. This will be just below the videos. Well, we'll just show you. Left the bookmark thing open. Here is where you create your very first program. This video is all about opening projects and the basic framework and stuff, but there is some source code associated with it. Not much, but there is some. And so you notice it says click here to open source code viewer for this video. So if there's a video, and there's going to be, most of the videos are going to be actually writing source code, writing things in C++, and showing you, or at least include that as part of the video. So if there is source code related to a video that's available, you will see this little link, and if you click on it, now that link relates to that video. So there you go. This hasn't been open. There it goes. It's opening up. And so this is it. This is the source code video. So this is the source code that was created in that particular video. Note that it is formatted. It's also color coded to match the code in the video so that you can see it. So this way, and it does open in a new tab. You'll see a lot of things open in a new tab. Well, a lot don't, but a lot do. So what you can do is you can open that, and then of course, you won't necessarily have a lot of these other tabs open. You can, while you're watching this, say, okay, wait a minute, I want to check out exactly what's going on, make sure I know what's going. You can pause the video. Well, you're probably going to be in full screen. Pause the video, get out of full screen, and then go over here, and of course it's going to be a lot longer, and you can scroll up and down and look at all this and go, aha, okay, I got it, and then go back to the video and start watching the video again. And so this is a great way to do all those things. Also, at the end, you can review the whole thing and look through it and make sure you understand everything that's going on. That's fantastic. It's a great way to learn how to code. Or a great tool to learn how to code. In addition, if you'd just rather watch this not in the source code viewer but in your programming software, you can copy and paste this stuff. So you can just select, and then I right clicked, so I use my mouse here to select all of this stuff, and then right clicked and copy, and then you can paste it into your programming software. It is, if you just do that to say, oh, okay, well, I did it, it runs, well, of course, so that doesn't help too much. But if you want to do the whole program, and so you can monkey around with it maybe, or whatever, or especially in a larger program, you're like, I cannot figure out why, or my program's not working or something. I think it has to do with this line. Let me, so you can actually just, you're going to want to make sure you get the whole thing for the formatting. Just select one line or two lines, however much, copy and paste it into your programming software. So, that can really work out nice. And we really like the fact that perhaps before, if you looked at other whether it be regular books or whatever, it'd be like, oh, you can download it here and all of this. So then you got to find it. Then you got to download it. All that other kind of stuff. Nope, it's just quick and easy. You're right here. When you're at this video, this is the source code. So this is basically you're watching the video along, and it's like, okay, this is the example all done right here for me that I can go look at. And so we feel that this is a very convenient way to handle that. Okay, now we're really almost done. This is the last section on the navigation homepage. So this is fully expanded navigation. Now previously I said that, okay, the course navigation, you need to have JavaScript enabled in order to be able to use this. But that we had a way that you could still use the navigation system. You can go, this is the URL for this page. Also on the home page there are links. It's just littered with links, trying to make sure that folks check out this navigation homepage so that they understand all of these features that are available. If they don't watch the video, if you're watching this video, that's not you, right? But what it does is it opens up, see, everything is already expanded, and it opens up that way already. So you don't have to have JavaScript to slide something out or to open or close all of these things. You may still want to use this fully expanded navigation even if you do have JavaScript enabled, because essentially with this all expanded like this, this is more or less a table of contents for the course. And as a bonus, if you do have JavaScript enabled, the little collapse and expand still works as long as you've got JavaScript enabled. So you can say, all right, I want to look through all this, but I definitely don't need that. So you could just squeeze it out of the way. And there you go. That's that. So that's how you can use that. Before we end, you may have some questions. This does not differ on the different pages. This is the same for everything. There are some questions regarding the course that you can look through here. We've got some questions and answers here and that course fact, but this does not change from page to page. In other parts of the LogiKomp website, the facts are page specific. This is course specific right here, but you can check out some of those questions and answers if you like. All right, excellent. So we've gone through the entire the entire course tour now. You've seen the whole overview of what the course is, what's in it. In the first part of the video, in the middle part of the video, you actually saw the content, and you've seen how it's laid out, and the nice little interactive features and everything to help keep you involved and help you to understand the material. And the last part of the video, of course, we just looked at this navigation homepage with all of these nifty little things that you can use to get the most out of the course and make sure you don't get lost. Excellent. Again, like I said, we have put a lot of work into making this course awesome. We're glad that you're interested in it, and we hope that you really get a lot out of it and that you enjoy using it as well. So, all right, that brings us to the end of the tour. Have fun with the course. This concludes another video for Introduction to Programming with C++, brought to you by LogiKomp. You can access the full course by going to the course homepage at logikomp.com/introcpp. While we are proud to offer this course free of cost to individuals, we do ask that if you continue to use the course, that you support its production and maintenance by making at least a small purchase from LogiKomp Domains and Hosting. You can pick up a custom domain, renewable annually, for around $10 at logikomp.com/hosting. Thank you.